Sorry to bring you another downer of a video, but I may be getting banned from Facebook any minute now, and I don't want you to get banned too. So I'll tell you the terrible thought crime that I committed, and we'll talk about some of the other high-profile people who have also just been censored by social media this week. Facebook took down this video that I posted showing Kyle Rittenhouse helping one of the protesters in Kenosha on the night of the incident after she was struck in the foot with a projectile, and that he had his first aid kit with him to show that he did not go to the city, like the mainstream media says, to cause trouble or to go and attack the protesters. But like I said in yesterday's video, you're not allowed to actually defend him in any way, because he's been labeled a dangerous individual according to Facebook's standards. And as we know from Facebook whistleblower Ryan Hartwig, who I interviewed on this channel maybe a month or two ago, you're not allowed to PSR, praise, support, or represent anybody who is on the dangerous individual list. I didn't glorify, celebrate, or praise him. I simply showed a non-graphic video and explained in very plain terms exactly what the video showed. They gave me this wonderful notice saying that they don't allow symbols, praise, or support of dangerous individuals or organizations, and they define those things as terrorist activity, organized hate or violence, mass or serial murder, human trafficking, or criminal or harmful activity. My page has over 800,000 people following it. In the last week alone, it reached almost 6 million people. And so not only did they give me a community guideline strike and take the post down, but they also restricted the page's reach because I violated the terms 3 times in 90 days, so they say. 2 weeks ago, I got a strike for posting that funny Joe and the Hoe meme, and they said that was bullying Kamala Harris. But they gave me 2 strikes for that one post. And what a surprise! The day before yesterday, Vice News wrote an article complaining about how much support Kyle Rittenhouse was getting, and they included me in that list, and then the very next day, Facebook censors a post of mine about Kyle Rittenhouse. Facebook is also taking down any post and giving community guideline strikes if you happen to post a link to the crowdfunding website that's been set up by his legal defense at fightback.law. And I specifically didn't link to it because I knew that they would be doing that, and I've been seeing posts on social media. People are getting community guideline strikes for actually helping the kid raise money for his defense at fightback.law. But it doesn't stop there. Twitter also suspended Lin Wood, one of his lawyers, Nick Sandmann's lawyer, because he posted something defending his clients on Twitter, and you're not allowed to, PSR, praise, support, or represent. So now his own legal team is getting suspended, censored from social media. Of course, Talcum X, Sean King, that white Black Lives Matter supporter who pretends to be black, he's never censored from social media despite all of his doxing and harassment and threats, because liberals, as we know, are above the social media terms of service. And what a surprise, a day or two after the New York Times wrote an article about prominent black conservatives like the Hodge twins and Terrence K. Williams, their Facebook pages started to get community guideline strikes as well. Literally the biggest 3 black conservatives on Facebook, the Hodge twins, Terrence K. Williams, and Candace Owens, have all had their pages restricted after being hit with multiple community guideline strikes. In other censorship news, Joe Rogan moved his podcast from iTunes and YouTube over to Spotify exclusively after he signed a $100 million deal not long ago. And I could have told you, Joe, that with that kind of money, there comes some strings. Fans immediately noticed that the entire Joe Rogan library was not available on Spotify, and that certain very popular episodes were mysteriously missing. One of those missing was his interview with Alex Jones, which was the most popular Joe Rogan podcast for several years until I think Joe Rogan interviewed Elon Musk and then maybe bumped that one down to number 2. But Spotify doesn't think that it's important to have one of Joe's most popular interviews ever to be available to be heard. Other interviews which are mysteriously missing, which of course don't fit a pattern at all, are Gavin McInnes, Milo Yiannopoulos, Stefan Molyneux, Sargon of Akkad, and Owen Benjamin. Yesterday, Alex Jones posted a video explaining that he got a flood of calls and text messages first thing in the morning from people alerting him about this and asking him if he knew what was going on. He called Joe. Joe said that there was just a problem transferring the files over to Spotify or something, which means that either Joe is full of crap or Spotify is full of crap, and Joe knows it, but he's now stuck between a rock and a hard place. Spotify may end up actually adding them and try to cover their tracks and say it was just a mistake, but I think it's pretty clear what's going on here. And a lot of fans feel let down because Joe said the show's going to be exactly the same. Don't worry about a thing. I'm just going to collect that $100 million and there will be no strings attached. Now, Joe did say that he's going to have Alex on the show and that Spotify doesn't control who he can and cannot have on, so that's going to be an interesting interview. I'll just be happy if I can make it through the election without getting banned from any of the major social media platforms, or at least until we find out who won the election, because we may not find out on election night, or we may not find out for weeks. And once we do find out, whether it is President Trump or, God forbid, Joe Biden, the social media censorship is only going to increase incrementally. If Trump wins, they're going to shut us down because they're going to blame us being able to communicate. If Trump loses, they're still going to shut us down because now they're going to be emboldened, and without him having the bully pulpit to push back, they're just going to roll right over us. Either way, I'm pretty sure that my days are numbered. So if you want to support my channel and get yourself an awesome shirt, show support for the president, the police, or finding a cure for the liberal pathogen, head on over to my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.